Hey everybody. So, do you remember how we listened to a story or we watched a video, I'm sorry, about penguins? And we learned that penguins live in areas of the world where it's cold outside. Do you remember what penguins have that help them stay warm when it's cold outside? Do they wear coats or sweaters like you and me? No, they don't. That would be silly. I think the movie even said that would be silly if we saw a penguin with a sweater on it. So what keeps them warm? Do you remember? They have an extra layer of fat called blubber that helps keep them warm. And they also have some really cool feathers that help make them almost like they're waterproof. So the water just kind of rolls off of them and it doesn't get to their skin and make them super cold. Do you know what other animals live where it's really, really cold? Can you think of another animal? Oh, I can think of some. I can think of one that's big and white and might growl really loud like, "Rah." It's not a dinosaur. What do you think it could be? Oh, guess what? It's a polar bear. A polar bear. Polar bears are big and white. And if you ever saw one and it got mad, it might growl really loud. So now we're going to listen to my friend read a story about polar bears. And then you're going to see Miss Hamilton after the story. Ready? Here it comes. We're going to listen together.
What are polar bears? Polar bears are the largest kind of bear in the world. Polar bears live in the Arctic. They blend in with ice and snow.
Look at the picture, friends. Can you see the polar bear? Yeah, I can see him. He's right here in the middle, but it's hard to find him because he looks just like the ice and the snow. Let's keep going.
Paws, fur, and blubber. Polar bears have rough pads on their paws. The pads keep polar bears steady on ice.
Look how big the polar bear's paws are. He has really big feet, but he's actually talking about the pads on the bottom of their feet. What did he say the pads were for? Do you remember? He said they were rough and they help keep him steady on the ice. Maybe they keep him from slipping and sliding? Let's see if the story tells us.
Thick fur and fat keep polar bears warm. Their fat is called blubber.
Ah, did you hear that word, blubber? What other animal did we learn has blubber? Yeah, penguins. Penguins. And he also said that the polar bear has thick fur. Thick means a lot. Like this would be thick and this would be thin. So thick fur helps keep him warm along with his blubber. Let's keep reading.
Swimming and playing. Blubber also helps polar bears float. They are good swimmers.
How many of you like to swim?
Polar bears
Oops.
paddle with
How many of you like to swim like the polar bear? Are you a good swimmer?
Polar bears bears paddle with their front paws. They use their back paws to steer. Polar bears often play fight. They move their heads back and forth when they want to play. Hunting. Polar bears are predators. They hunt seals and other prey.
That word predator, that's a big word. That's a new word that we haven't used in our classroom very much. Predator means that polar bears are hunters. They hunt for their food. So a polar bear is a predator. He hunts for his food. Do you remember what kind of food the story says they eat? They eat seals. I wonder if they eat any other food. Maybe they eat fish? I don't know, maybe we could find another book that might tell us some more about a polar bear. Let's keep going.
Polar bears wait near water for prey to come up for air. Then they attack.
I liked that story about the polar bear. What did we learn about polar bears? So we learned that their fur is white. Yeah. We learned that they have blubber that helps keep them warm. We also learned something about their hands, but they don't call them hands. They call them paws. We learned that they have big paws to help them swim because they're really good swimmers. And we learned that the bottom of their paws are special and rough so that they do not slip on the ice. Now, my friends, I want to try to draw a polar bear, and I want you to try too. So, like our penguin that we made, we're gonna draw it and then we're gonna write the names of the parts of the polar bear. Are you ready? So what does a polar bear need? Well, first he needs what is this? My face is on my head. So a polar bear needs a head, just like the penguin. Here we go. What else does a polar bear need? He needs a body. What do you think about that? I made my polar bear big. What else does he need? Oh yeah, he needs paws. How many paws does he have? The penguin had 2 wings and 2 flippers. How many paws does the polar bear have? He has 4 paws. So let's draw it. 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's got 4 paws. My polar bear needs a small little tail. He doesn't have a big tail, he just has a little tail. Just a little tail. My polar bear needs 2 little ears. What else does my polar bear need? Maybe some eyes so he can see us? What else does he need? What else do you have on your face? A nose? What does a polar bear's nose look like? I'm going to draw it like this. Here's my polar bear's nose. And then, does he need a mouth? I guess he kind of does. But what would his mouth look like? Would he be smiling like we do? I don't know. Let's see. How about I draw it like this, maybe? Like that? Does my polar bear need anything else? I could draw a little mouth. How's that? Does my polar bear need anything else? Do they have whiskers like a cat? I don't remember that in the story. All right, friends, so let's label our polar bear. Let's label his paw. Are you ready? Ooh, tell me what letter I need to write. Paw. Good, I need to write a P. Paw. Excellent job. Let's write body. What letter do I need to start to write the word body? B. Body. Good. What other piece of the polar bear could we label? Yeah, we could put a label for his head. What letter do you hear when Miss Hamilton says head? Good. H. Head. There's his head. What else could we label on our polar bear? What are these little things up on top of his head? His ears? Yeah. So let's draw a little line and let's write ear. Good. And say, excuse me, Charlie. That was my kitty cat, Charlie. Got one more thing that I want to label on our bear. This little thing right here. Do you remember what that was? Yeah, his tail. When Miss Hamilton says tail, what sound do you hear first? Tail. Yeah, the T. Ale. Good job. I cannot wait to see how your polar bears turned out. I know that you did an excellent job because I saw the penguins that you made and they were wonderful. So now I cannot wait to see the polar bears that you make. You could even add, I don't have a crayon, I just have a pencil, and I don't even know if, just work. You could even add some. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that? No, not really. Let's see if I can get closer. Can you see the fur that I added on my polar bear? You could even add fur to your polar bear because remember the fur helps keep the polar bear warm. I cannot wait to see them. You guys have fun drawing your polar bears and I will see you next time.